Well, the family of a champion bodybuilder who died after surgery has accused a Sydney hospital of hiding the truth.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's Strength and Power. So in this video, I want to talk about a forgotten bodybuilder from Australia. And this is a bodybuilder by the name of Luke Wood. Now, in my opinion, aside from Lee Priest, Luke Wood was one of the greatest bodybuilders to come out of Australia. This was a bodybuilder who, when he came in shape, he had the graininess and the size of a guy like a Dorian Yates. And when he was at his best, at the peak of his physique, maybe in the mid-early 2000s, he honestly had some of the best and biggest delts in bodybuilding. I mean, his delts were absolutely insane. Now, if you go back and look at his actual contest history, he actually wasn't really that successful of a pro bodybuilder because he never really left Australia to compete. But he was one of the best-known bodybuilders in Australia, probably because of the fact that he only competed there. He did earn his pro card in Australia in the year 2000. And during the early 2000s, he would compete primarily over there in the Australia Grand Prix competition, but there was a couple times where he would compete internationally, including the 2005 New York Pro. And then in 2009, Luke Wood would officially retire from bodybuilding due to some kidney complications. It was starting to have, a rumor that he was having kidney issues, and then he ended up retiring from professional bodybuilding to pursue personal training in 2009. Now, this is where the story of Luke Wood kind of takes a little bit of a sad turn here, because after 2009, he would only live another 2 years. So this is one of those stories that really speaks to the dark side of bodybuilding that a lot of people, they really want to shy away from and don't really address. And it seems to be more common with the bigger guys, like a guy like Luke Wood. It's typically an issue with the kidneys or the heart or the liver, or something to that effect that could be caused by anabolics or the stress put on the body by being a professional bodybuilder, and carrying around the amount of muscle mass and weight that these guys carry around, especially a guy the size of Luke Wood. So when Luke retired in 2009, he was only 33 years old. So arguably, he still hadn't hit his peak yet in professional bodybuilding. And I think there still was some potential for him to go on and place higher at some better shows had he not suffered from these health issues. So the cause of death for Luke would be he got a kidney transplant, and his body started to reject that transplant. And following the transplant surgery, he had a lot of internal bleeding from the complications of that surgery, and he ended up dying as a result of that. Now, if you do any research on this, there's a lot of sensational articles regarding Luke Wood's death. A lot of the titles are like steroid-abusing bodybuilder dies, of kidney complications, and there's a lot of controversial stuff that actually happened surrounding his death in the hospital. His family was claiming there was a lot of inadequate care, there were a lot of missed opportunities, there was a lot of waiting around and a lot of delays for the CT scan. He wasn't able to consult any senior physicians or renal experts, which are kidney experts. But the whole thing was pretty controversial. And at the end of the day, after the coroner, was done examining the body, the coroner did say that the steroid use was probably the primary risk factor for the renal failure that he suffered from, which ended up causing him to get the transplant, which ended up in him dying. So this was a pretty clear-cut case of steroid use being associated with the death of a bodybuilder, and that's very unfortunate. But this is something that we see happen from time to time. And I think people should be aware of the risks of pro bodybuilding. Now, this isn't going to happen to every single person that decides to be a pro bodybuilder, but this is something that could happen to you if you go down the route of professional bodybuilding. So Luke Wood ended up passing away on August 31st, 2011, at the age of 35 years old, and this was just 11 days after his kidney transplant surgery. So I just wanted to do a quick video on Luke because while I feel he is a forgotten bodybuilder, one of the best bodybuilders to come out of Australia from a physique standpoint, the graininess, the size, the insane delts that he had when he was at his biggest. I mean, like I said, it was out of this world. But I think people should be aware, you can have this incredible physique and be remembered for having this incredible physique. But at the same time, there's a price to be paid to getting to that level, to looking like Luke Wood looked. I think people do need to understand that and realize there is a little bit of risk associated with becoming a professional bodybuilder. So let me know what you guys thought of the video in the comment section below. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.